Well, it's this is a great time of the year for our team and our players. We've been through the rigors of a tough 55-game stretch, and obviously 29 games in the league, and you feel you need a couple days to recover, and we've had that now, and we had a great workout this morning, and ready to get on the bus and go play. One of them, obviously a very, very challenging tournament at in Hoover. There's going to be some of the best teams, if not the best teams in college baseball, that are going to be lined up down there, and we hope to play well. We hope to play some good baseball. We hadn't typically played very well down there of late, and hope we can change that trend and go down there and play some good baseball and put ourselves in position to win some games. We'll certainly be challenged right out of the gate against Ole Miss or Georgia, and but we look forward to the challenge, and hopefully we can stay a couple of days or several days and play more than just 2 games. But I am proud of this team for what they've done, what they've accomplished up to this point. You win the East, and you finish ahead of some of those teams in our division. You have to feel good about what you've accomplished. So through the regular season, I'm awfully proud. Now I hope we've positioned ourselves to play the best, our best baseball. I hope we're in position to do that. You don't ever know until you go play, but our players do feel good about themselves right now. They do have some confidence, and hopefully they're in a position both physically and mentally to go play their best baseball in the most important games of the year. And with that being said, I'll open it up for questions.
Please raise your hands. Matt.
What's been kind of the key for you guys the last few games offensively, and obviously playing well against a pretty good Alabama pitching staff?
Well, their pitching staff was terrific, I thought, and we just got comfortable. And you have weekends in which you play at a high level and you play very well, and hitting's contagious. Not hitting's contagious. Well, we got off to a good start and was hitting the ball very well, and I think a lot of our players fed off some of that success. Getting Stokes going and getting him comfortable, that was a big difference in the weekend. Dom stayed steady. We just had consistent approaches. We didn't chase pitches out of the strike zone for the most part. We had our best at-bats when runners in scoring position, which was a change from the previous couple weekends. We got our bunts down. We executed a short game. We made some mistakes along the way, but for the most part, our at-bats were very consistent. We moved the ball. We put the ball in play. We did a good job of situational hitting. We had when we had RBI opportunities, we capitalized on them. We moved runners up, got some big 2-out hits. You throw all that in there, and you had a good weekend offensively. And I'm a big believer that hitting is contagious, and I think a couple guys got going, and that gave our other guys confidence.
John.
What gives you some optimism that this team will fare better in Hoover than some in years past?
I just believe in the team. I'm just optimistic because we've been playing well and feel good about going down there and playing. I felt good about 2010. I felt good about 2011. So I don't know if I'm sitting up here any different than what I've felt in the past. We're going to take a good team down there, but we're going to play good teams. And sometimes, you can't always win, especially with the competition that you'll face down there. But I felt good about this group, since September, and that's not going to change just because we're getting on the bus and going to Hoover. We're going to go down there and try to play our best baseball and try to win some games and put ourselves in position to win the thing. And if you don't have that outlook and that attitude about it, then I don't think you have a chance. With that being said, we can keep it in perspective as well because, if you go down there and win the whole tournament, that doesn't guarantee success the next week. Or if you go down there and don't play well, that doesn't guarantee that you're not going to be successful the next week. So look at it like we're going to play a big-time postseason tournament, and let's play our best baseball and try to win it. That's kind of the attitude of our bunch, and hopefully some of the results will show on the field for having that type of attitude.
In the back, Joe.
Coach, do you feel you guys have to pick up some wins in Hoover to earn a national seed, or has this team done enough, you feel, to secure a top 8 seed?
That's not for me to decide. I mean, I know that's a lot of conversation fodder, but all I know is this: that we're SEC East champions, and we have an RPI of top 5, and we finished ahead in the league of some really, really good teams, and so there's no reason to think that we're not a national seed. There's no reason to think that we're not. So, it's kind of funny reading all those people's opinions on that, and it's a good thing a lot of those people aren't in the committee room, So all I know is we've done all we can do. We've won the SEC. We've won East. We're in the conversation as being one of the top 8 teams in the country, and we should be judged on what we've accomplished. And for that reason, I'm biased, but you're damn right I think we're a top 8 national seed. Well, I'm going to sit up here and say we don't deserve it. You kidding me? No, we've done a lot, and we put ourselves in a good spot. And that being said, that's not why you play. You play because you want to play your best baseball at the right time of the year. And you can't worry or consume yourself with things you can't control. And we can't control where other people put us or what other people tell us to go play. We're just going to go play. And I can tell you, I'm just sitting up here thankful that we're going to be in the NCAA tournament, because about 365 days ago, I know what the other side of that thing feels like. And I'm glad this group has put us in a great position to go compete in postseason play.
Brian.
I know it comes out later today, but do you think, for the consistency he have and many other things, that Gene Cone kind of got overlooked a little bit, maybe for the SEC Player of the Year consideration?
Gene's been steady now. I mean, I don't think he was a name that, people thought of before the season started that was going to come in and be, one of the best players in the league, in the country. And he's been both. I mean, he's been terrific all year long. Once I put him in there for good, he's been very, very consistent, hitting around 350, and that long hitting streak that he had, and 37 walks to 19 strikeouts. He's been terrific and played good defensively too. And just been steady, a steady guy that he might get overlooked because maybe he doesn't possess one crazy major league tool from power or speed or throwing arm, but he just knows how to play baseball. And it's been really, really neat to watch him, and I'm proud of him because I've always had a feeling that he was a good player. And it goes back to what he accomplished one summer in the Coastal Plain League. I was like, man, you can do that with a wooden bat. You can play. And we didn't get a chance to see it his first 2 years here, one of them because he was hurt and he was trying to play banged up. But now that he's healthy, our doctors did a great job with his thumb surgery in the off season, and he's healthy and feels great. And I think that's contributed to his success. But it's been neat to watch him. There's no doubt in my mind I think he's a all-SEC, All-American, type player, and that he deserves that recognition.
Scott.
I'll follow up on that Gene Cone question. On the SEC teleconference today, you talked a lot about, and have in the past, talked about the fact that team cohesion, team chemistry is a lot better this year. But as we all know, baseball is also a numbers game. And I'll have to think that a reason for this USC success this year is the fact guys like Cone, Destino, and Marcus Mooney have posted significantly better offensive numbers than they did last season. So talk about that process. I assume that's something that doesn't start yesterday. It probably started last summer or last fall for those guys to improve so significantly.
Right. I mean, and that's one of the main reasons why we've had the turnaround that we've had is our returning players have played at a very high level. You can talk about chemistry and cohesiveness and camaraderie all you want, and I have talked a lot about it. But you're right. You have to go out there and perform, and they did, and they much improved from a year ago. And it's not just Gene and Alex and Marcus. I mean, it's some other guys too. Reagan's much improved. Tyler Johnson's a different animal than he was a year ago, and Reed Scott's been terrific. So I mean, it's pretty. Our returning players are much improved and played at a much higher level this year than we did a year ago. And those guys didn't want to go through what they went through last year, and I think they took some ownership and said, "No, we're not doing that again." And they helped, lead us to this season. They helped from a leadership standpoint, put us in this position. And you start with Marcus as a senior shortstop. I mean, obviously he's been terrific all year long, offensively and defensively. But as a shortstop, he's kind of our quarterback. And then with Gene's emergence and performance, and we always thought Alex was a difference maker. They all played at a high level, and and they knew they didn't want to experience what they experienced a year ago, and they had a chip on their shoulder. And that all started, like you said, in the offseason with their work ethic, their determination, and the time they put in when, it wasn't baseball season and no one was watching. And they've been terrific. I mean, they've been terrific on the field, off the field, in the locker room, in the weight room. They're kind of the straw that stirred us, for the most part and got us back in this position.
Tim, and then Matt.
Coach, how much, if any, did you coach differently this year?
I think when the great thing about baseball and any coaching is you learn every day. You learn things that go right, and you kind of keep that in your back pocket, and things that don't work and things that go wish it would have gone a different way. I think you have to evaluate that too. And we made some changes. I didn't change the way I coached the game per se. I didn't change our philosophy, but I changed a little bit about off-season workouts, and tried to hold the players at a much more higher level from an accountability standpoint. And but I'm the same guy. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't mean this bad, because I've said this before. I think this turnaround is about the players, and I'm not that much better of a coach as I sit up here right now than I was a year ago. I don't think I am, but I have made adjustments and I've made some changes, and I don't know if that's giving coaching too much credit to say that's the reason why we've had a turnaround. Those players played their tails off and worked their tails off. That's the reason why we've had a turnaround. But yeah, I mean, I can tell you when you have a year like we had last year, you're going to be determined in every way, shape, or form not to let that happen again. From how you do practice, to practice organization, to weight room organization, to off-season workouts, to off-season conditioning, everything. And we tried to dot every I and cross every T to the best of our ability the last 365 days, and I think we've done a good job of that, and I think it showed up in our results.
How good has Reed Scott been down the stretch for you guys, and how much confidence do you have in him coming out of the bullpen?
Well, I give him the ball anytime. I know that the thing with Reed and the thing with Josh and even Tyler, even though he's more gifted from an arm strength standpoint, they all gonna make the opponent beat you. They're not gonna walk everybody. They're not gonna give you free bases. They're not gonna panic in any situation. They throw strikes. They change speeds. And they try to work ahead of hitters. They can feel their position. They can hold runners on, and that's why Reed, Josh, and Tyler pitch all the time. They do all those things. But Reed's been terrific, and we'll go to him in the third inning. We'll go to him in the seventh. We'll go to him in the eighth or ninth. I know when we put Reed in the game, if we lose, it's going to be because the opponent beat us. It didn't because Reed panicked or threw the ball all over the place. And that I can say the same thing about our other guys that we put in there in the late game situation. I think we got 22 saves, and they're all between Reed, Josh, and Tyler. I mean, it's a pretty good bullpen there. And that's one of the things maybe that we didn't know we had at the beginning of the year. Who would have thought Tyler Johnson would have gone from throwing 88 to 98? I mean, he's, and we thought we knew what we had in Reed, and he's performed, the way we probably thought he would perform because we think the world of him. But Josh has been terrific with 11 saves too, and got a 1.77. So, strength of our bullpen and the performance of our bullpen, I think, has played a large part to being where we're at today. There's no doubt about that.
Derek, and then Brian, and we'll just take a couple more because we have to get the players in.
You mentioned a couple weeks ago you needed John Jones to be his best for you guys to go as far as you can. With what you saw out of him this weekend, what did that mean to you, and what have you seen out of him maybe that's been a little different the past couple of days?
Well, it meant a lot to our team. I don't know if we were trying to win the game, and it was an important 3 games, and I didn't have him in there because I had him in there because I thought he gave us the best chance to win. And I just have a good feeling about the kid. I'm around him every day. A lot of you guys and a lot of the fans, they just see him on game day. But a lot more goes into, how a coach and how his teammates feel about a certain player. And I've always felt good that he's going to perform at the right time. He's been through a tough time, something he's never been through in his life. But understand that happens in baseball. And I was not going to abandon the kid because I knew if he's, a consistent player for us, we have a chance to be really good. And he kind of completes the middle of our lineup. And it was good to see him perform, when the games were so important. And obviously a big swing of the bat on Friday to get us a lead against a really good pitcher. And he came back with several more hits on Saturday, 3 or 4 RBIs. Obviously, he played a huge part into us getting off to a great start in league play back in March, and he played a big part in helping us cement the Eastern Division Championship. And hopefully he'll be a little bit more consistent now as we go through the rest of the year and through the postseason because, obviously now, your rear end's on the line about each and every game. So we're going to need him to perform for us. But I think he's in a good place mentally right now to be a big-time contributor to our team.
2 more, Brian and then Matt.
Kind of piggybacking off.
We'll get you.
3 more. Brian and then Scott.
Okay, I'll ask. No, but kind of piggybacking.
We don't
off.
play tomorrow, so
Yeah,
everybody
all
goes to
right,
Hoover.
cool.
Let's just chitty-chat away.
We'll just keep talking
Yeah,
if you want.
let's keep it going.
Kind of piggybacking off his, but you were talking about Tyler a little bit, but he had 8 of his 9 saves in SEC play. How impressive was it to you that he was able to morph into that role during league play?
We always wonder how a kid's going to respond to that situation because it takes a certain aptitude, a degree of toughness, a calm demeanor, and when everything's going crazy. I thought we had something special after that Florida game, because we'd had a tough one the night before, and there's a tying run sitting 90 feet away, and that's the first time he'd been in that situation with, I guess, all national baseball, college baseball eyes on that game, and we handled it like a champ, and handled it obviously like a champ this weekend in Tuscaloosa. I guess he saved all 3 games. Is that right? He's been impressive, boy. I mean, he's I love the kid's demeanor. I love his arm strength. Very rarely do you have a power arm in the bullpen that throws 95 miles an hour that has the command that he does. And, I mean, I don't know exactly, but in 39 innings, pitched 7 walks, really? I mean, for a guy that throws mid to upper 90s, doesn't happen much. So we got strike throwers in our bullpen, and very rare for a guy with that type of arm strength to be as impeccable with his command as he is. And he's one of the major reasons we're sitting up here 42-13. I mean, he's been terrific.
Are you still planning on going Schmidt, Webb, and then potentially Hill, or do you know?
I'm not sitting up here trying to pull a fast one on anybody, but I don't know who we're throwing. And here's why. I would love to throw Clark, but that'll be the second time in a row in which we moved him up. We played A&M on a Friday night, and we had to move him up a day, Thursday against Alabama. And he didn't throw great. He didn't throw like Clark Schmidt. And now all of a sudden we're asking him, we're going to move him up again. And I don't know. I will know tomorrow. I'll say that, after we work out and see how he feels. If he feels fine, he wants the ball, and he thinks he's 100%, we'll give it to him. But if there's any in between and I see any doubt or I don't feel good about it, then I won't give it to him. And then, then we'll flip a coin. So that's just where we are. The last thing I'm going to do is rush him into a start and then all of a sudden him not be ready next. No, I ain't doing it. Not doing it. I'm going to give him the ball when he's ready. And if he's ready Wednesday, I'll give it to him. If there's any doubt that I don't think he is ready, I won't. And that's just where we are. And I don't have enough information as I sit here right now to make that decision. I got to let another 24 hours pass. So,
Scott?
I realize there's only so much you can do when you have 12-team tournament, especially with the NCAA tournament looming. But what's your view of the current SEC tournament format? Also, you have sort of Russian roulette baseball tomorrow, a single elimination, and then you also have a single elimination on Saturday too, leading into the championship game. So how do you feel? How do you like that as opposed to what?
I thought I honestly, I'm gonna give you an honest answer, and I don't know if I'm gonna speak out of line here or not, but I thought I would like it, because having 12 teams I think gives more student athletes an opportunity to participate in such a great event. But now I'm not so sure I do. I mean, I think there's going to be tweaks as we go forward into the tournament. I don't think everyone's happy from a coach standpoint, administrator standpoint. I don't think everybody's necessarily happy where we are right now. And I don't think every coach is happy about it. So we thought we would be, because what we didn't want to have happen was somebody to finish 10th or 11th and not be in an SEC tournament and cost them an NCAA bid. But, you start looking at things across the country and how things have gone, I don't think that was a valid enough reason to, create the format that we're in right now. But I'll say this, when we put it on the table, when this came up, I was for it. I thought it was pretty cool. But now that we've been through it a couple times, I don't know. Because if you win the thing, boy, you got to recover quick. You have to recover quick because you've taxed your team pretty good. I don't know what that feeling's like, obviously, because I ain't been on a team that's won it. But I can see, what have happened to other teams, and I think you're going to see a format coming soon that'll tax the teams less. And I don't know what that format's going to be. I hear all the talk and the chatter, but I don't think anything's set in stone yet. The SEC will always do what's right for this tournament because it's such a great event. And if they think changes need to be made, they're going to make the necessary changes, both in format and times and all. They're going to make sure it's the best event. So, and I think they're trying to put their heads together now to make sure it stays that way.